Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. So today we are at Portfield Mazda here in Chichester. It's one of the hottest days of the year so far, and I've got one of the most hotly anticipated sports cars of the year, the Mazda MX5 RF. I saw this car launch at Festival of Speed last year. I saw it at Soft Top Sunday. I thought I've got to drive that car. It's meant to be a real cracking driver's car. We've got it for the next couple of hours. Let's take a good look round the outside. We'll take it up the road, put it through its paces. In this beautiful sunny day, I think this should be a really, really interesting car. Let's go.
Take the highly rated Mazda MX5 convertible and give it a metal folding roof and bold Targa looks, and you get the Mazda MX5 RF, and it's only 45 kilos heavier than the convertible. It comes with two engine options, a 1.5 with 129 bhp and a 2 litre with 158 bhp. This 2 litre Sport Nav has firmer suspension thanks to Bilstein dampers, and all 2 litre variants also get a limited slip diff. The cabin is well laid out and full of nice materials. It's certainly compact and bijou though.
So I've got a bit of a confession to make. I've never been a huge fan of the MX-5. I've appreciated it. Perfect, purist little rear-wheel drive, two-seat Roadster. But the problem it's always had for me is it's just never had enough poke. You know, I kind of look at the power figures, and for me, you know, power's always... And I thought it's just not fast enough. So one thing though that's become quite apparent the last few weeks is I've driven some immensely powerful cars, and you kind of realise, I've got a couple of relatively powerful cars in my own garage, and you really just can't use that power on the road. You know, you need to be on a track, and let's face it, we don't go to tracks very often. In fact, a lot of performance cars never visit a track ever. This car, however, so this is the range topping 2 litre Sport Nav. And it's got 160 bhp, or 160 PS to be precise, I think, actually. And you'd look at that, and that for me would not set my pants on fire. However, the argument is, in such a nice little tight package, that's all you need, and you can have a really, really great driving experience, and kind of that's what I'm expecting from this car. And so far, it's not disappointing. The gearbox is beautiful. There's a fantastic change on this gearbox. I know I go on about gearboxes, but it's really nice. The engine's quite responsive and torquey and pulley, and when you get to the corners, it's just a really, really excellent driver's car. And on a day like today, you couldn't want more. But we need to talk specifically about this car. This is the RF, which I think stands for retractable folding roof. And it kind of has this kind of Targa at the back, so hard top folding roof, and it provides the top down beautiful driving experience that I love so much, especially on a sunny day like today, but a little bit less wind, flutter and blustering. It's really quite calm in here. But you don't get the full soft top experience. In fact, with these windows up and with that kind of Targa behind, it's more like just having the sunroof open, if I'm honest. But I quite like that, and it certainly makes it for a calmer environment in here. And then I know people will like it because it's a tin top, because it's a solid roof instead of a canvas one. You know, that brings with it more security and those types of things. And I find that nice, you know, really interesting. And the looks of the car from the outside with this thing on, I just think it looks ace. There we go, nice, drop it down, chuck it into a bend, and you know what? This car really really does have fantastic road manners, and on a lovely open road like this, it's just what you want. I'm not going super fast. You know, you can stick to the speed limit and have a really engaging drive. And I'm starting in my short time I've had with this car already to understand that that's what MX-5s are about. You know, you don't buy one of these cars for, you know, absolute hoon, massive power slides and all that kind of stuff. But let's face it, how many of us really do that? It's got enough go. If I just drop it down into 4, pull away, it's got a nice engaging sort of pull away. It's not going to set the world on fire in terms of speed and performance and acceleration, but then that's not what it's all about. What it does have though is a really nice feel to it. This little 2 litre has got some go, you know. So this particular car is quite highly spec'd. It's got these beautiful upgraded leather sports seats. They're really nice. And I don't know if you can make out, but these little bits of perforation behind my ears, that's speakers from the Bose sound system. And also when you go hands-free on the telephone, it's literally just in your ear, which I think is just a really clever. Being a convertible owner myself, the bane of my life is using a hands-free when the roof's down. What I would say is I'm a tall guy. I don't have a great deal of leg room. I've got my seat as far back as I can and my legs are still a bit scrunched up. And although the wheel, I've got basically sort of tilt adjustment, I've got no reach adjustment at all. So my hands are kind of sort of banging on my knees, which means for me, I couldn't live with this car. It's just not big enough. So if you're a tall person, I've got particularly long legs, then that's something to consider. Having said that though, everything else in this car, the other thing it's got, which is really nice, is it's got the exterior styling pack. So it's got a really nice lip spoiler on the boot. It's got these lovely sills running down the side and a nice sort of splitter underneath its chin. And I think that just makes it look really nice. In the showroom they had a launch edition car which had that, and it just looks really smart. So if you were going to spec one of these up, as I said, this is the kind of range topping 2 litre Sport Nav. I think they're just under £27,000, which is quite a lot of money for an MX-5, I know. But if you're prepared to have a smaller engine and maybe not so much equipment, you know, you can start these at around about £22,000, which I think is really good value. It certainly feels very well built, kind of really robust. The steering feels really nice as well. So all in all, very impressive so far. All about, but I've got to do a 0 to 60 test on my favourite bit of 0 to 60 test road. So 3, 2, 1. Come on, baby. Keep going. 60. Yeah. See that? You wouldn't buy this car to do that, but it's kind of where the lower power, I won't say lack of power, because actually to get a really nice driving feel it has all the power you need, but for that real kind of what I would call the overtake scenario, where you want to get past something, where you want to really push on, that's where this car starts, for me as a driver, starts to be lacking. It's just not quite got the go for me. Having said that, I think, you know, it's a really cracking car to drive. and to drive legally. You can chuck it into a corner, drop it down a cog. It's got beautiful balance, and it's got a really nice feel to it, and that's what this car's all about, not out and out grunt. So it's worth having a chat about this roof mechanism. You can raise this roof, and I'll start to do it when you're going along, but you can't do more than 6 miles an hour, which I think that's not great, because in my Mini I can do up to 30 miles an hour. But I guess it's quite a complex mechanism, and that big piece of metal that comes behind. But that's pretty quick. So let's have a quick feel of this car with the roof up, because it kind of feels different in here already. It does have some character. You don't have a big poppy crackly sports exhaust, but it goes and it feels nice. That gearbox is really, really excellent. But the difference in the car with the roof up, the sound is really, really good. There's none of that kind of wind rush you get sometimes with a canvas roof, and you can really feel the car and start to enjoy it. And it's when you get a tin top roof like this, it's normally the winter when you start to appreciate it, when there's snow on the car and you've got to wash the car and everything. So certainly that's impressive. So yes, you can put the roof up when you're going along, but you can't go more than 6 miles an hour, which is really only good enough if you're crawling in traffic. And take it from me as a soft top owner who's got caught out on numerous occasions with hailstones and heavy rain especially on a dual carriageway or a motorway where you can't stop. You want the roof to go up when you're going a bit faster than that. But it feels more like a coupe in here, which is really cool. Tell you what though, when it's 26 degrees outside, I'm having the roof down, but it's a very cool mechanism. Very cool. It's a work of art, to be fair. So I've been driving this car for a little while now, and the longer you drive it, it starts to reveal its playful nature. It's actually quite tail happy, in a really good way. You don't have to be going very quick. If you chuck it into a bend and you get on the power early, you can just feel the back. It's just nice and loose. And if you're coming out of a T-junction and again you accelerate away, you've got a bit of a slippy rear end. And I think that's that playful character, that driver's car coming through, and I really love that. Because normally, you have to give it a right old bootful before that starts to happen. But not in this. It's a really, really excellent driver's car. It makes you feel very connected. The steering weight's really quite nice. You can kind of feel what's happening through the front wheels. You've got nice response. It's a relatively sporty, responsive engine. Super, super gearbox. I kind of understand now where all the kind of journos and the people rave about it, because it's such a really engaging car to drive. I like it a lot. It's not got the power for me. I'm going to struggle with my legs because it's just not got enough room in here for me, really. But it gets very good marks. Yeah, I like this car. It puts a big smile on your face, and on a day like today, it's perfect. So there we are. That pretty much brings me to the end of this review, guys. So I thought I'd bring the car up to the top of the trundle with a beautiful view of the South Downs behind me. What a cracking little car this is, a real driver's car. It's not got a huge amount of power, but it's got this kind of playful nature and this really great feel to it. Super gearbox, super steering. I think it looks fantastic as well. I love the hard top retractable roof. I think that's really, really nice feature. Beautifully spec car. So I need to say a big thank you. I need to say thank you to the guys at Mazda Chichester, Warren in particular. Been so cool when I asked to get access to the car, and they've been really, really cool. Let me take the car out for the day. So thank you very much for that. I hope you've enjoyed the film. If you have done so, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. Anyway, I will see you on the next film, guys. You take care. Drive safe. Heel and toe, down a gear, whack it in. See, there you go. Just a little bit of slip at the back. Just a smidge. Just to make you remember that you're driving a rear-wheel drive car and it's enjoying itself. And I like that.